few days ago, I was out here talking about whether to let this bean plant, Teepee, stay or whether it should go. Because I had a few beans left on it, and it is now the end of October. And even though we had a little bit of cold, and I'm mostly warm, I do think that this bean plant is now ready to go. So today I'm going to pick all of these beans. I'm going to see what I can get out of here. And then I'm going to pull up these vines. First, let's pick those beans. I got a very nice bucket of lima beans. These are the Worcester Indian Red lima beans. You'll notice that some of them are dried and they rattle. And that's fine. I'll just use those for seed for next year, or either I'll just put them in my dried bean soup jar and turn them into soup at some point during the year. So this will be enough for maybe one meal, maybe two for us, which is not a bad haul for our last harvest. This has been a remarkably productive bean teepee this year. Next step is I need to pull off all of this tangle of bean, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the compost pile. It's going to be great. Now, I'm not going to pull the plants up from the roots, and that's because I want the roots to stay in the ground. Bean plants do fix nitrogen in the earth, but you need to leave the roots in there for that to happen. Plus, cutting them off at the base and leaving the roots in will help aerate the soil. It'll help bring additional organic matter into the soil, and it will ultimately create pathways where water can penetrate into the soil. So it's a good thing to just cut your plants off at the base, pull everything out. So next step, detangle this bean tower. This will be a bit of a task. I've learned just to start cutting. Start cutting at the top, begin to pull it off, and then we'll have a nice bit by bit. It's all tangled up in here, so don't try to do it in any orderly or logical way. But I have found that starting from the top and working down generally does the trick. It'll be nice to have this luscious green material for my compost. So that way I'm not looking at this as a sad thing. I don't want to cut my bean plant. I'm like, all right, you're going to become something that's going to make more food for my garden, so my garden can be more productive. The fun thing is you're always finding extra beans tucked in there. Let's go ahead and get these teepees out of here. These bamboo poles are about, I think they're 7 or 8 feet tall. And I've had them for about 5 years. And I would say I might be able to get one more season's use out of them. If you can find a good source of tall poles like this, I think it's worth the investment because you can move them around easily and configure them in many different ways. Just in case you're curious about this teepee, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 poles. And that was enough to plant. I planted 2 plants at 2 seeds at each pole, but not all of them germinated. I would say maybe 3 or 4 didn't germinate. So I had a pile of beans to grow. The Worcester Red Indian Lima beans are a pole lima bean, and they do take a long time to get to harvest. So you've got to make sure that you've got a good long season. The growing guide says it takes 85 days, but I actually think it took me a little bit longer to get these things to get to full harvest. They're pretty disease resistant. I did have a beginning infestation of bean beetles, but I was able to get them killed off pretty early on. And then the stink bugs decided that they were going to attack. So I had to be on them a little bit, but that didn't seem to really impact the harvest all that much. Let's get this stuff up to the compost pile. It's going to be a lot to put in the pile, but that's a really good thing. You can see I have a lot of stuff already in this compost pile, and I'm just going to go ahead and put all of this stuff right in here. fantastic. This is fantastic. I'm just building this particular compost pile now, and it's going to be full pretty much in another, probably by tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is actually put some water on this. It's been really, really, really dry. We have not had rain in 4 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and wet this down, and that will help it begin to start the process of decomposing a little bit faster. So we'll have good compost. So that's what I have for you today. Pulling out my bean teepee, putting that together in the compost. And tomorrow we'll come out here and prep this bed. As I said this year, I'm going to take everything in small increments and not try to do too much all at once. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye.